New York, NY, in a move that signals a new direction for the New York Jets. The franchise has locked up its premier offensive playmaker. Garrett Wilson, the dynamic wide receiver out of Ohio State, has agreed to a 4-year contract extension worth $130 million, with a staggering $90 million guaranteed. With this extension, Wilson becomes not only one of the highest-paid players in team history, but also one of the top earners among NFL wide receivers. The deal, which averages $32.5 million annually, positions Wilson in the same elite compensation bracket as receivers like Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Brandon Ayuk. But it may be even more significant considering Wilson's unique value to the Jets. At just 24 years old, Wilson will now remain under contract through the 2030 NFL season, meaning New York has secured the heart of its offense through what will be the entirety of his prime years. This signing comes after 3 remarkably consistent seasons for Wilson. Since being drafted 10th overall in 2022, Wilson has never missed a game. He immediately made his presence known by earning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors in his debut campaign. His stat line from year to year has steadily improved despite turmoil at the quarterback position. 2022, 83 receptions, 1,113 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2023, 95 receptions, 1,042 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2024, 101 receptions, 1,114 yards, 7 touchdowns. Wilson has had to operate in an offense marred by instability, catching passes from a rotation that included Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White, Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, Tyrod Taylor, and briefly Aaron Rodgers. Despite that, his performance never dipped. It's rare to see a young player display this level of consistency while dealing with subpar quarterback play. And that's exactly what makes this contract both deserved and strategically wise. Historically, the Jets have struggled to retain homegrown talent. Prior to Quinnen Williams in 2023, the last notable first-rounder to receive a long-term extension was Muhammad Wilkerson nearly a decade earlier. Garrett Wilson's extension breaks that trend, signaling a shift in the team's front office philosophy. For years, the Jets cycled through draft busts and short-term fixes. This deal, however, indicates that the organization is now focused on developing and retaining its best players. Wilson's deal sends a clear message. The New York Jets are committed to building around their stars. It's a turning point in how the organization manages its core roster. Let's move on to the new news. And if you're enjoying this kind of in-depth coverage of the New York Jets, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you're first in line when breaking news drops. When evaluating Garrett Wilson's impact on the New York Jets, it's impossible to overlook the context in which he's performed. The Jets have had arguably the most unstable quarterback situation in the NFL over the past 3 seasons. Yet Wilson's numbers have remained elite. Since 2022, Wilson has caught passes from no fewer than 8 different quarterbacks. While most NFL stars rely on chemistry with a top-tier QB to flourish, Wilson has done it the hard way. From rookie Zach Wilson's erratic play to last-minute substitutions like Trevor Siemian and Mike White, Wilson hasn't just survived, he's thrived. Even his short time with Aaron Rodgers was cut short due to injury, forcing the Jets to once again turn to backup options. Yet Wilson still managed to rack up over 100 receptions and 1,100 yards in 2024. That resilience is rare and underscores his value as a player who can function at a high level in virtually any system. Adding further intrigue to his future is the team's acquisition of Justin Fields, Wilson's former college quarterback from Ohio State. Their chemistry was evident during their Buckeye days, and there's strong optimism that their reunion could lead to Wilson's best season yet. Fields offers mobility and arm strength, 2 qualities that Wilson can exploit with his precise route running and reliable hands. Internally, Wilson is regarded as a culture setter. He's vocal on the sidelines, passionate on the field, and holds himself to an elite standard. Some critics have pointed to his fiery demeanor, but those close to the team say it reflects a deep desire to win, not immaturity. In fact, Wilson has been mentioned in leadership conversations, and sources say he is being considered for a team captaincy on offense this year. More than just stats, Wilson has provided identity to a Jets offense long defined by inconsistency. He's a leader, a competitor, and a technician on the field. This contract extension is about more than money. It's about building a stable and winning foundation. Garrett Wilson's extension marks a cultural turning point in Florham Park. For decades, the Jets were known for squandering top talent, failing to offer second contracts to their own draft picks. A revolving door of GMs and head coaches led to a lack of vision and continuity. But this latest move signals something very different. With Wilson now locked in through the 2030 season, the Jets are making a commitment not just to an individual, but to a philosophy. Draft well, develop talent, reward production, build long-term. It's a strategy the best franchises in the NFL have mastered, and now it appears the Jets are finally on that path. Consider the recent history of former Jets first-round picks. Jamal Adams, traded to Seattle. Leonard Williams, traded to the Giants. Sam Darnold, traded to Carolina. Mekhi Becton, not re-signed. Elijah Vera Tucker, still undecided. Garrett Wilson is the exception. He's the symbol of what the Jets are trying to become. A franchise that not only drafts talent, but keeps it. His extension could be the blueprint for what comes next. Attention now turns to cornerback Sauce Gardner, who will be eligible for an extension in the near future. If the Jets follow a similar course of action, they could secure long-term elite talent on both sides of the ball. Locking down Wilson and Gardner would give New York two young stars to lead them into the next decade. From an organizational standpoint, this is about more than football. It's about setting expectations for how the franchise operates. Young players will now see that excellence is rewarded in New York, that staying in green and white isn't a career pit stop, but a place where greatness can be built. In Garrett Wilson, the Jets have more than a playmaker, they have a tone setter. And with this deal, they've taken one giant step toward turning long-term frustration into long-term success. The New York Jets have made it clear Garrett Wilson is not only their most electric offensive weapon, but also the centerpiece of their future. By extending his contract through 2030, the Jets are demonstrating a renewed commitment to building a sustainable, winning culture. Fans can expect to see Wilson continue his upward trajectory, especially with a more stable quarterback situation ahead. If his current performance is any indication, he could very well go down as the greatest wide receiver in franchise history, potentially eclipsing even the legendary Don Maynard. For a team that has waited decades for offensive consistency, this is more than a deal, it's a declaration.